What is going on, everybody? Just getting all set up here. Got two ways to view tonight on TikTok and on YouTube, whichever you prefer. Take that off here. Market's giving us a little bit of a move, which better than watching paint dry like the last few days here. Hope you're all doing well. I can't see any comments tonight, so let's see here. I'm sorry, I can't see the ones on TikTok, just not on YouTube. So someone's saying 16.8 for Bitcoin, I'm assuming. Anything's possible here. Let's take a look though at what we're looking at right now. So from my last update, 1605, right, was the major inflection point, level to beat, line in the sand, whatever you want to consider. It was the level we needed to claim. That was and still remains, pretty big region. That is obviously not the number one area to be looking for at the moment, obviously, since we are so far away from it. But that was the area to be looking for the the better probability for more upside. 1605, right, month open for March. Just below that, we had a statistical target that still is yet to be met for this week. And we had our weekly pivot, comes in at 1588. You can see how we just barely missed it here, right? So was generated at this point. So even though we did reach it that price point last week, for this week it was still is a target, very valid at the moment. Obviously, like I said, we're pretty far away, so you got to start looking for other areas to get concerned with for any upside at the moment. We're going to take a look at all of those. So really nice move. We were talking about the February low, right, which is was our, at the time, local low coming in here, 1460. We've obviously taken that. That's going to be, realistically, that's a big area to reclaim in the near term here. In the near term here, you can start looking to a couple of other regions as well. Otherwise, as far as any more continuation to the downside, levels do remain the same. We have a couple, depends on how you want to pull this. There's an overall gold pocket from the low to high, right? So that comes in, putting the gold pocket here. Move this over a little bit so you can see it on this little mini screen. So from overall low from November to the current high, that brings a gold pocket into the 1313 to 1334 region. If you're looking at this from this low to the high, which gives a little bit of a different, little discrepancy in the two, but that does put us at about 1358 to 1377. Puts you right on top of this previous peak. Turn this music down a little bit. Let's turn it down a little bit. Okay, so you got those there, and once again, this region between the two of those gold pockets, obviously, there's going to be some bounce territory in motion there. One other thing I wanted to put on the radar around these, at least this one right here, coming in 1358 to 1377. Thank you for the follow, Jaybird or Jerry Bird. The Q4 22 range, right? So that does come back into play now, around this region as well. Value area high basically lines up right at the gold pocket here, comes into play at this peak, and then we have all this support as well. You can see over here to the left, right? So I'm really, giving a lot of credence to this gold pocket region, and then down to that value area high, which is essentially super close to that. Where did I just type that away? Sorry. Ooh, right there. Okay. It was actually within the gold pocket. So that 1364 region, as far as any downside at the moment. If you really want to start zooming in for some intraday moves and some intraday levels to start, paying attention for, we do have a really nice setup for today, known as the Dalton. Right. Got actually a pretty good bunch in here tonight. How's everybody? XRP to the moon. Johnny Bull, how you doing? Wang Zhu, toot toot. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're all enjoying your Thursday night, early Friday morning, whatever it is. Okay, so higher time frame. This has been, like I said, this is the area that the big area you want to see come into for potential bounce territory. Really nice, mid to long term plays, things of that nature. However, like I said, today we have a really nice play. So let's take a look at that. So once again, gold pocket, value area high, Q4, you got the previous peak. This was actually our December pivot back then as well, if you recall. 1350 was a really nice target we were looking to in the group. Traded that all the way to basically, perfectly on the FOMC day, 18K Bitcoin as well. So this level has a lot of credence to it as well, kind of going forward. But let's take a look at today's setup that we have in play. So I never labeled this. Well, we're just going to leave it there. It's February low, obviously the current low. Probably one of the biggest regions to get back above and start holding. You want to see something along the lines of this, right? Get the old bing bang boom, swing the low, reclaim, move on from there. So that is something that you'll want to have an alert set for. You can do that very simply, coming over on TradingView on your phone, on the desktop version, and just simply creating an alert. It's going to text you, email you, whatever you want. We're going to take a look at the previous day range, previous week data as well. Previous week data got this drop really nice. Once again, similar to last week is also. So I do want to talk on previous week data, which is essentially 2-week old, the 2-week old range basically, because both of these have now played out really, really nicely. So we're going to go back in time a little bit. So I'm going to take off this February low. We're going to look at last week's previous week, right? So as we came into it, let's go ahead and just chop up some price here. Right there. So this was the previous week with the previous week data, right? So we had our previous week low. We reclaimed the range, got our run to the point of control, back down to the val. This was actually midweek. So we were live. Actually, I was live doing this during this exact time frame, which was March 1st. So that was Wednesday, technically Tuesday night, right? Tuesday night, 7 p.m. It was this time, whatever. Monthly open, monthly pivot all came in here at the val, had a nice run. Where did we run up to? Well, at the time, we had our previous week range high was 1680. It was also that November high that we've been on about for several months at this point. The exact high, once again, November high has offered up several trades over the last few months, basically. Not only was it November high, previous week high, looking to rotate the range, easy targets back down to monthly open, monthly pivot. And what did we do? We blow right through it. We ended up having the SFP, right, swing failure pattern of the previous week low, and then started holding it right here. So looking for this to run back to the basically the value area low. This has a point here, right, at this point. So SFP got the reclaim. The trade at hand was to look at least to run it back to the previous week val, right, value area low right here. This is also the monthly open, monthly pivot, lots of resistance here. And at that time, you were looking to either get the rejection, continue lower, or for the reclaim, right? Those are the next two trades at hand. Obviously, I don't even think we made it back up to that region. New week opened, so new week, new data, right? So now we're looking at this. So we're going to go ahead and get out of the old replay because we essentially did the same exact thing twice over. But this week, we actually got a really nice back test of the previous week val. We were discussing this. I at least posted it in the group last night. I can't remember if it was on the member stream as well. All right. So now, current previous week data. All right. Gonna take a little zoom in here. Trying to make sure you can see this on both setups here. All right, you got your value area high, value area low, previous week point of control. We've got our weekly pivot that is, like I said, this is for this week, so this is still untapped. So still a statistical target on the board. We shot through, basically barely just swept the low right here. So once again, yesterday's trade was this, right? Come through SFP, very barely, but you did take it. Take the move back up to the previous week val. And not much, 1.5% almost on that move. But from there, the next trade was to look for the rejection at the previous week val or the reclaim. Got a perfect rejection, and down we go. Next major target was going to be that February low, right? There we go. And now what do we have? Well, it's a new day. So we have new data. And going forward, we already discussed in the beginning of this video, and if you're watching on TikTok, this is on YouTube as well under Leading Crypto. So you can go there and rewind if you need to kind of reverse so far. I've really only covered Ethereum so far on this video. I will kind of take a look one more time at what's below us just for anybody that just joined. And all right, so we're going to turn that off. And we'll keep it on for now. So like I said, you got gold pocket below. Gold pocket just below us. We've got Q4 value area high comes in at that region as well. At the moment, that's the next target to the downside. As far as start climbing back to the upside, what are we going to look for? So now we're looking for previous day data, right? So the road to get here obviously has been mapped out. You got your next areas to be concerned with. And what are we going to be looking for next? So I mentioned the Dalton in play, right? So that's where you close outside of the previous day range. All right, so key levels at the moment still will remain that weekly pivot up here, monthly open. Granted, they're a good ways away from us at the moment, but we'll keep them on here. We're going to turn on our opens for the daily as well, right? So we want to see where the day opened because obviously that's where yesterday closed, today open. And we do have our trading view range, at least on XO charts could be different. I actually haven't looked at it. But I have to, when you get these big drops like this, throughout one day, you generally have two things. You have a new daily pivot, so daily average, which is a statistical target, right? That's going to be basically to the upside. And same thing when you have big pushes up, right? You get these big moves up very quickly. You always get those BART patterns and this and that. Well, it's generally because on the way up, when you move up quickly like that, you leave things behind. You're going to leave an NPOC. You're going to leave weekly pivot. You're going to leave a daily pivot. You're going to create a Dalton. And then from there, you can kind of script those, ideas into some trades. So our daily pivot now for today, untapped, marked by the asterisk there, is 1462, 70. And that is, a little bit well within the previous day range here I have outlined. And then two things to note here is that one, previous day low, 1405. We're still pretty much kind of floating around in limbo. Realistically, at the moment, you'd want to see, I'm going to zoom in pretty clearly. Your first thing you want to see is a reclaim of the daily VWAP, which essentially we have, right? So that's this line right here. You obviously opened it here. We, spent some time below it. Potentially we're reclaiming it now, holding it, currently. As far as a confirmation on, a little bit more of a safer trade, you'd want to look for that daily open reclaim. And then by that point, you're really looking to just re-enter the range. So coming back up, 1445.98, hold within there. You're looking for two 30-minute candles And at that point, you're activating the dolphin, right? So at that point, your natural target, high probability, you're going to run it back to the previous day point of control. It's 1533. Currently, from where we are right now, that's about a 7.5% move from the previous day val, 6%. Really nice intraday idea there. And what is crowding this out right here? Turn off the high and the value are high the same. That's why. Okay. So where we are here, you have a pretty well defined low, a stop loss, potentially could go below this. It's pretty far away depending on if you're going to be using leverage or things of that nature. So, if you want to more so be concerned with where we are just below the VWAP, you can do really going to depend on your risk management in that case. Also, like I said, if you're looking to actually take it up and look for the reclaim of the previous week val, that's where you can put that stop loss, below daily open. And now you got a little bit more of a tighter window here. And obviously, if you start coming up to this region and losing that again, you'll obviously be looking for more downside anyhow. So, but at the moment, step one, reclaim the VWAP. Next is daily open, previous day val. Daily pivot is going to be the first target along the way here. And then after that, realistically, it's going to be that previous day point of control. You can, kind of start looking for some local gold pockets along the way here. You got a, local high right here. This is actually a pretty good one because this is going to align right with the EQ of the range. So, uh, you know, if you're going to be breaking this up into TPs, if you're entering now, it's definitely daily open, previous day val, daily pivot, gold pocket, previous day point of control. After that, it's looking to see if we actually claim the previous day value area high. So meaning do one of these deals, right, and come through and actually get through that range, rotate the range in full. Um, and then after that, it's back to looking towards weekly pivot and month open. Month open still remains the main area to the upside, the key to the city. And reason being, week open. Okay, week open is actually gives you another little spot there as well. So yeah, I mean, you got like a really nice staircase here. Um, as far as profit taking would go on a short intraday move, and then just areas you want to see reclaimed along the way here. So take off week open, leave that. Monthly open does still remain that major level to claim because that gets us back into a couple things, right? So we do that, and then we re-enter February range, right? Which at this point, we deviated pretty harshly. So we re-enter the February range after a deviation of this size, easily going to rotate it, in my opinion, taking us back up to potentially 1714. And then after that, looking to break in, then still looking for the overall high side target of the yearly pivot coming in at 1989. And that would be 1989. And that's pretty much Ethereum in a nutshell, right? So yes, there's still areas to the downside. Once again, 1605 was that key area and has been since March 1st. So you're talking a solid 9 days so far. So we never got that. So the idea of just trading the range until it breaks was there. You had a previous week, just perfect back test of the previous week val. Took it from there down to the previous month low here. Now we're kind of floating around in limbo. The Dalton today is definitely something I would be paying attention for, which, like I said, takes us potentially back up into the previous day range. And the overall major target for that's going to be the previous day point of control. So 1531. Losing previous day low, currently the low, right? It's a easy target to identify, lose that, get the back test. Then we're probably going to head back down or continue lower towards that gold pocket down below us, that Q4 value area high that I've mentioned several times as well. Right. So that's definitely the next support level, barring that we don't hold here. It does what the market does. Toss all that in the trash. It's all about the news, right? Silvergate, Silvergate running the market. Mark, what's going on, man? So either it goes up or it goes down. Honestly, you guys are getting it. Forrest Gump, what's up? Charting ETH. ETH. When did I say ETH isn't good to hold? All righty. Silvergate. When that's all you need. Scratch everything I just said. Everything's going to zero. You know, the news is, man, the end of the year last year, if that wasn't a perfect example of how news is just, obviously you can work off it to some degree, but the worst news comes out at the lows, the best news comes out at the highs. There's obviously moves in play around them, and some of them make sense. FTX crash for a perfect example. Market takes a huge dump, and everyone just blames it on FTX, and you get this sideways movement here. Everyone gets off of exchanges because everything is not trustworthy. You're gonna the whole markets are gonna collapse. Cryptos can't be trusted. Coinbase and Binance are gonna collapse. Sell everything for tax harvesting, right? And you have this huge drop that nobody, what is going to get us back? What could get us higher than where we were before? Um, and you literally engulf that entire, price action on what news? Really nothing. Um, so up to you. Obviously, you can very well not spend your night here with me on TikTok, some random dude on the internet. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking for. You can do whatever you'd like, and watch CNBC and CNN all night and every day, and analyze your positions and things through that way. So for Bitcoin too, go on with Sistine Research. Funny, somebody said Forrest from Telegram or whatever, but this gentleman's name is Forrest as well. And every Monday, and really, I've just been covering a very simple range here with Bitcoin. Had a nice deviation to the high, obviously, basically running up to summer highs, re-entered, and then at that point, just similar to what we were just looking at for previous day, right? You're going to be targeting your point of control, which is here, and we have made our way to that target now. Uh, Bottom of the range here comes in with the overall gold pocket. Very similar idea here, right? As far as more so spot moves and things of that nature, is that from the low to high here, you have the gold pocket come down about 19K. And if you're looking at it from this swing, it does come up a little bit higher, which is pretty much putting it right about where we are now, which does align with the point of control as well. So up to you on how you want to identify those. But yeah, definitely re-entered the range, back test the high, down to the point of control. So a major target has been met there. And yeah, see how we go. We got the untapped weekly pivot here also. And Magic Internet Money and Max as well, right? They do the morning Bitcoin update if you're interested in paying attention to in my opinion, the best Bitcoin analysis out there. Check out his channel on YouTube and TikTok. It's Magic Internet Money, and no news needed to identify that Bitcoin was coming back down to this region. So, but once again, that's totally up to you on how you want to do things. And yeah, honestly, that's about all I got, everybody. So I really just want to come on here, kind of identify some areas I'm looking for ETH. Aside from that, we'll see how the today goes. Looking to see if we get that move a little lower. Obviously, everybody's expecting and anticipating it at the moment. We did close the CME futures gap as well, which is right in this region too. So I know everybody's kind of paying attention for that. And when even just that alone, back to the news, you leave these gaps in price, right? So when you get these huge moves up, you do it really quickly. You get a lot of consolidation either at the highs or at the lows. Same thing as the FTX drop, right? You get this huge move down, sideways action, very quick backup. Almost every time there's just inefficiencies left behind. You have averages left, you have NPOCs, you have very technical reasons that the price action returns to those averages, mean reversions, things of that nature. And then through here, you're utilizing volume data to basically identify that we are going to rotate this range back. Realistically, you have to anticipate it rotating in full, which does come down about 18.8. But do note that we are at support at the moment. So, yeah. Thanks so much for paying attention. Anybody who's willing to listen, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Have a nice night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in this beautiful world. And until then, cheers.